What's up everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Land, and we have even more things that this game brought to us, and that is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. There's so many things that are just crazy, you know, Easter eggs and glitches and fun things that you can do in this game. We're still going on it, now on our 5th video. Once again, thank you so much to everybody that's been supporting and tuning in every single time, and also sending in your ideas and things that you found. Remember, if you want to send in any more, if it's even possible to stretch this even further to a 6th video, make sure you watch the other 4 videos first to make sure that your comment hasn't already been touched on. But today I have 10 more extremely cool facts in Kirby and the Forgotten Land for you guys to check out for yourself. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Kirby and Nintendo in general. Now let's get on to the list. Number 1, if you go down to your system settings and go to your color palette, you can actually turn it from normal to inverted colors. If you do this, you'll notice that Elflin actually changes colors that kind of base it to look like Fecto Forgo, which is very interesting. But in honesty, it kind of reminds me more of Chaos Elfilis, if anything, with that deep dark red. Either way, it's definitely creepy. Kirby can also damage enemies while falling. Now, he could do this in all of his past games, but this is something that I really didn't even know that he could do in this new 3D adventure. Yes, if you fall far enough, he'll actually go into a headfirst dive, which will then damage enemies right on contact, which is pretty cool. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's just something worth noting that you can free fall and not really worry about, you know, hurting yourself on an enemy. Here's a crazy theory sent in by Mild Apathy, and it originates around Morphonite. Morphonite has an ability where he can send out a soul form of the creature that he has consumed and taken over, and he does so with Fecto Forgo's soul in the boss fight. This then raises a question for Kirby Star allies, because he sends out one of these things. What in the world did he kill? Is this what he actually looks like in some form, or is this some other type of creature that he killed in the past? If so, it looks pretty big and it looks pretty scary. Whatever it was, I think we can kind of thank Morphonite for taking that thing down before we even got to it. Ugh. At the Battle of Blizzard Bridge, we can go up to the secret path that we already know exists from the past videos. We can climb up this wall and go throughout the window. We then can make our way to battle against Florunia, and once we defeat her, we can go into the secret bonus room. But once in this room, we need to die, so we're gonna jump into this ice to quickly kill ourselves. Now, when we respawn, the invisible wall blocking our way past this gate is now gone for some reason, and we can even grab this little tornado copy ability and explore the world beyond. There's not much to explore, but it's just kind of cool that they just, you know, completely missed this part if you died here, and it's a lot of fun. It is actually possible to have unlimited copies of the time crash. If you do it right, it's actually very difficult though. It's harder than it sounds. So you have to actually release the copy ability at a very specific frame, and I think it's a 1-frame trick. As soon as the time orb around Kirby shrinks, it gets into a little smaller form. I would count to around 2 seconds until you have to start releasing the copy ability. Eventually, you should be able to get the hang of it and get the right timing, which means you get to keep carrying this thing around pretty much for an entire level. It could definitely make for some fun things to do in levels that you've already completed. You guys probably watched and saw all the cool facts about the Waddle D Band, and it's just kind of incredible how much detail and work was put into them. Yet there's another one, and this is probably the last one unless you guys have something else incredible about this band. But if you have music playing and decide to turn it off, the Waddle Dees won't just stand there on stage. They will actually start to tune their instruments, and they each have different sounds that they make. Take a listen. Yeah, the amount of detail into these little guys is just continuously insane to me. Congrats for that. That's insane. This is a pretty basic one that I feel like a lot of you probably already know by now, especially since it's been a couple of months since the game has dropped, but you can actually go into Kirby's house another way, not just the front door. Yep, you can actually go through the chimney by jumping in. It'll take you through the fireplace, which you can't really get back up that way. You have to go out the front door and it'll go back in this way, but it's a cool little Easter egg that, you know, Kirby can play Santa. Also, I was up on this shelf just kind of inhaling, and I randomly caught something in Kirby's mouth. I didn't swallow it. I should have to see what it was going to be, if it was going to be a copy ability or anything, but I couldn't get it to happen again. I don't know what this was, and I thought it was pretty crazy. In the level 5-4 Moonlight Canyon, when you go into the Archmouth section, you can actually bump off the top of the lighthouse in order to glitch your way out of the stage like in a previous level you could. Now, you have to do this kind of exactly right. You have to fly up above the lighthouse and kind of smack the bottom of Kirby on top of it, and then you'll pop yourself up. But it's really hard to do. I was kind of getting it for a while, and then finally I was able to pop myself up, but after a couple tries, you definitely will get it. You can choose to actually go super high or stay along the bottom. The first time I went super high, it pretty much takes you over the clouds, and it will keep going for a long time. I was flying into the distance for like 5 minutes until eventually I ended up dying. But yeah, you can also go very low, which you can kind of skim, not the normal course, but right above it, and you can get to go through like the little cranes and the towers everywhere and the windmills. It looks really cool. A lot of them don't have hitboxes, so you can just fly straight through them, but it really, like, it kind of makes the level look even cooler than what it was. So with your first encounter with King DDD, you actually don't have to fight the Awoofies. You can actually just let them run by, and King DDD will not hit you. If you don't touch him or the Awoofies, you can just run around him, even bump into him, jump into him, and nothing will happen to him or Kirby. He'll just kind of stare at you and look at you as you go around him. It's kind of funny. And after a while, eventually he will start to fight, so it doesn't even matter. He will eventually just swing on Kirby after he gets bored. Or you can attack him, and then he'll start swinging that way. And finally, probably the coolest trick of all, once again using the hammer glitch, we get to see the return of that cool move in the Fecto Forgo lab that we get to explore in Lab Discovera. So you can't just jump into the lab's background in any other portion besides this part, right before you fight Fecto Forgo and right after you fight Leongar. But you're in this room, you're going to use the super hammer bounce in order to make your way to the top right where you actually fought Leongar in the first place. You can then walk around the outside of the battle arena, and what's cool this time is it almost makes it look like it's a ceiling line, where you get to like walk around the outside of the gates and like make sure you don't fall below. It's really cool, and you get to even peek into the little factory in the windows and see like where the workers once were, the test tubes, all the different types of things that were in this lab, and it's all detailed from Nintendo. You can actually get to just check this whole thing out and look at how unbelievably detailed this place was, as if it was going to be used for another level or something. You can even make your way to the control center and sit in the little chairs where the people once looked at Fecto Forgo and kind of kept an eye on it, but you can also go to Leongar's chair and be the new ruler of the Beast Pack. But no, it's time for the coolest part. You can actually go into the laboratory through the broken glass and see the area in the containment unit where they once kept Fecto Forgo. It's funny too because once you step through the glass, the lighting shifts and it like kind of lowers its saturation, almost as if like you were supposed to be here at one time, like they were designing this to be an actual playable level. I kind of wish, because I wanted to see a fight with actual Fecto Forgo. That would have been really cool besides the invasive species form. But you get to walk around this entire kind of lab area and around the containment area where Fecto Forgo was being held, and you can even walk on top of it. It's even able to like be walked on in this weird way, even though it's not technically, you know, the right shaping. But you can walk all over it and stuff, walk in the middle. It's just a lot of fun, and it's really cool. And yeah, that's 10 more really cool facts about Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you guys really like this list, leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Kirby and Nintendo. And if you have any more facts that you would like to send in, make sure you do that down below, and you could appear in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.